Good day, everybody. Welcome back. Once again, it is me, the J to the E to the double F -ree, and you are listening to the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. For today's interview, we are talking to the young GOAT, Hot Fire, the MLW Middleweight Champion. He is Myron Reed. Myron Reed will be showcased in MLW for the upcoming restart for the company. They will be getting back with TV tapings this month to bring new episodes of MLW TV content on Fubo Network and DAZN starting next month. So we're very excited to be talking to him. So here we go, an exclusive one-on-one interview with the MLW Middleweight Champ, Myron Reed. All right. This is Jeffrey Harris with the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. For today's interview, we are speaking with the one and only Hot Fire. He is the MLW Middleweight Champion. He is now also the Paradigm Pro Wrestling Champion, which he just won 2 nights ago. He's the one and only Myron Reed. Myron, how are you doing today, sir?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right, man. But you forgot the young GOAT.
The young goat. I am very sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
My apologies.
I'm here, man. I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you talking with us right now. So, great news is that MLW, the restart, it is right around the corner. MLW will be taping new shows and will be getting you guys back on TV, back in action. You are the MLW Middleweight Champion, so how does it feel that MLW is going to be back on the air really soon?
Man, we've been waiting on this for months, dog. I've been ready to defend this championship against the best, because I don't want to be one of those guys that goes down, he was a pandemic champion. I want to be the best middleweight champion that ever stepped foot in MLW, so that's the goal, is to prove that. Not to say it.
So, as the middleweight champion, do you see yourself as one of the faces of the company for this kind of new era in this restart?
Absolutely. I see myself as one of the faces of the company. Regardless, I feel like if you're one of the main champions, and I feel like the middleweight championship is one of the main championships in MLW, you're one of the faces of the company, and it's a big role to have.
So, I mean, there's going to be a bit of a facelift, though, because in the meantime, while MLW has had this shutdown or hiatus, so to speak, there are new TV deals. There's a streaming deal now with MLW on DAZN, and there's also Fubo Network. So, do you feel like this will be an opportunity for you to get yourself in front of some new viewers, some new eyeballs, and introduce yourself to a whole new audience?
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely... every platform, has different and new viewers, The more people get to see me, the more people get to know me and get to know how I work and what I do in that ring, The more people know, the bigger my fan base is, the bigger MLW's fan base is, and that's just a win-win for everybody.
I mean, how crazy have these last 6 months been, Myron, considering you worked that MLW AAA show, I think March 13th in Tijuana. You were part of that event. That was one of the last wrestling events to have thousands of live fans watching at the arena before, this whole COVID shutdown. So what's it like looking back that you were a part of that event and just getting through this whole summer and these last 6 months?
Oh, man, it was crazy, honestly. Lee Jordan and Kodo, we were all like, just like, man, we just want to make it home safe, because there was everybody. You hear from people. They're like, "Y'all better hurry up and get home because they're shutting everything down. It's getting crazy." So we were just like, "Man, we want to get this. We want to wrestle and get this over with so we can get home." We didn't really get to soak the moment in I wanted to, because that's a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? AAA is huge. It's somewhere that when I first started, I was like, man. Imagine wrestling for AAA in Mexico, in Tijuana, but for it to be right on the cusp of the pandemic, was kind of bittersweet. You know what I'm saying?
So, after the shutdowns, where you had a couple of those months where you're not even wrestling or working, did you ever get stir crazy? Did you ever get emotional? What's it like, being a working wrestler and just having, these periods where you're not even able to get into the ring?
Man, honestly, at first it's just like, are we even going to be able to wrestle again this year? So, like, that alone, just it kind of like, because I grew up, wrestling was all I knew, man. Like, backyard wrestling. From that to training and being a collector, that's all I've ever done, all I've ever known. So, like, that being kind of ripped away from everybody, you're trying to find new hobbies and new things to keep your mind occupied, new ways to, like, kind of keep yourself ready still, on your toes, to be ready still. Like, especially with gyms, with closing and all that stuff. So, I'm over here working out at home, trying to buy workout equipment for the house, something just to keep myself to where I'm continuously going up and not, digressing.
Now, when you're getting back into the ring and you're getting is there a process of shaking off the ring rust? Did you feel like you had ring rust when you finally were able to get back into the ring over the summer?
Oh man, I had a match with Blake Christian, like my first match back, and that was in like 5 or 6 months. I can't tell you how nervous I was, but it's crazy. As soon as I stepped in that ring, bro, like I didn't practice before the match or none of that. Stepped right back in, and it was like butter. Like, it was like nothing never left. So. It just goes to show you, I'm still a young goat, man. Like, regardless.
So do you feel like you're fully back in regular ring shape at the moment, and you'll be ready to hit the ground running once the TV tapings start for MLW?
Man, I still don't feel like I'm completely. I feel like I'm like 75% back, 80% back right now.
Okay.
Yeah, about 80%. But once those tapings come, I don't know, dude. It's just something about when I get in that MLW ring, like, it's just like I don't know, like it goes from like it's a mental thing. Like, when those cameras are rolling, it's like it's over. It's game time. Like, I've never been more focused and more ready in my life. You know what I mean?
Now, how are you feeling about kind of the fan element? With because of the pandemic, you either have to have a situation where no fans can be present, or fans if they are there, they have to be socially distanced, and it has to be like a smaller amount. Do you have any insight on how that's going to work with MLW, and what you can expect for that?
Well, if it's no fans, man, I wrestled in front of 5, 10, 15 people when I first started wrestling. Like, it's training, all that stuff was in front of really no people. So, like, no fans. So this is like, it's just like repetition. Like, it's literally like, I've done this before. Like, I'm going to do what I do regardless, as long as them cameras are rolling and I got something to look at, somebody to talk shit to, I'm going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready regardless.
But when you get that energy going and you have that fan element, is it a hard thing to kind of work without, or can you do either one?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's once you've like done it so long, like it's embedded in your mind. But like, it is a difference, because it can be, if you got fans cheering for you, if you got fans booing you, whatever it may be, if you just feel that energy from the fans, that alone is just like, that's so much. Trying to find the right word for it. Like, it's
second nature.
It's definitely a different feel, but like, I don't know, like, it's been practicing beat into my mind, like, how to perform, like, in front of the camera. So, like, I'm going to still, you're probably not even going to realize there's no fans there unless, like, of course, visually, but, like,
yeah.
But you know what I mean?
It's second nature for a pro like you. It's like second nature, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely second nature.
Well, so what do you think about MLW, the way they kind of have these divisions lined up? We have a great set of champions. We have you, Alex Hammerstone, he's the openweight champ. Jacob Fatu, he's the heavyweight champ. How do you like the way they've kind of divided these divisions up? Because I think it gives this promotion a different feel from other promotions.
Absolutely. It gives it like a MMA type of feel, and I'm a big fan of MMA, UFC. Like, even they got, especially because they got, what I'm saying, guys that do that. Like,
yeah,
done that. Tom Lawler, fuck, Matt Riddle was there at one point.
King Mo.
King Mo, yeah, like, I love it, bro. Dominic Garrini, like, he did some shit, like some martial arts shit. Like, I mean, I love the platform. It's so underground feeling, like it feels like where I need to be at. Like, that's the type of wrestler I am. I'm an underground type of wrestler. Like, that's how I feel. So I feel like I'm right at home.
So now that we have this restart date set, they're going to get you guys back on TV. You're the middleweight champion, and you want to be a defending champion. Do you have any guys in mind that you want to mix it up with? Any of the new guys that they've signed to the roster that you're thinking about?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. If you would ask me this question a month ago, I probably would have gave you a list of names.
Yeah.
But right now, it's Brian Pillman. I'm ready to beat his face in, literally, like, and get that out of my way. Like, that's literally like the next roadblock that's in front of my face. Like,
that is,
I want to hurdle that and then get to the next challengers.
You versus Brian Pillman is an amazing matchup, and I hope that's one title matchup we're going to get to see on TV very soon.
Hey, I've laid down the challenge. I've told dude, I'm ready. Like, when I see him face to face, I'm gonna beat him up. Like, I'm beating him up. I got to. He disrespected me. You got to beat him up.
Thoughts on Brian Pillman Jr. as a talent, as a worker? He's son of the great Brian Pillman. But trying to have his own career, his own journey.
Yeah, it's exactly what you just said. He's a mini me. That's really all he is. He's a phony, a mini me. He might be a great wrestler, but like it's easy to be a great wrestler when you're just copying off of someone,
Whoa. Okay, so what is the key to training and training safely during this whole pandemic? Because we're still in this pandemic, and it's changed the world, and we're trying to get on with our lives, but we have to get on with our lives in trying to do things without exposing ourselves, without exposing other people. So what is the key to training and doing it safely right now that you have to keep in mind?
Wear a mask, man. That's the first and foremost. Mm-hmm. Wear a mask. Honestly, it's just following the rules, bro. Like, yep. If people act like it's really hard to follow the rules, you're at home, cool, whatever. But, you're out here exposed and you're in front of people, you're training with people. Wear a mask, wash your hands, just take precautions. Like, it's kind of simple.
It's not rocket science either.
Absolutely.
Okay, so also, MLW has had this hiatus and this shutdown, but do you feel like they've kind of used this extra time to really fine-tune this safety process and having this COVID compliance procedures that they've set up, so when they do get back into action, they fine-tuned the safety process to deal with the coronavirus and maintain the health and safety of all the athletes?
From what I've heard and what I've personally experienced, I felt like they've done a very good job of keeping everyone safe. Like, during those months, they could have ran if they wanted to, but I feel like they wanted to keep everyone safe. They wanted to pretty much see how dangerous, like what's the ways we can prevent from people with getting exposed to this virus. So I understand them not opening up for a few months and taking that time off to kind of figure things out and to get everybody into a situation where they're safe and stuff. Because honestly, like they could have ran and people could have got COVID. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what they did, we didn't. None of us knew in the early stages of the pandemic what the hell we were dealing with. So, they're doing what they got to do, man. I'm just glad that we got some tapings and we're ready to get shit rocking and rolling again.
Now, you are a wrestler and you have been working in recent weeks, so I'm just curious. In your opinion, have other promotions been doing enough to safeguard the talent, doing it the right way, or are they doing it the wrong way during this pandemic?
Honestly, every show I've been on, I feel like has done a very good job. About 85% of the shows I've been on have either made the wrestlers get a test there, take a test there, or previously like show that you are negative, you know. But the other ones I did, like the other 10-15% was like I think they were like scanning like to see if people had fevers and stuff like that. If you had a fever or if you had a high temperature, like you can't wrestle. Like, you know what I mean? So like I feel like, and they were implementing the mask deal. Everybody had to wear masks. Everybody had to be spread out. All the shows I've been on. So everybody has done a pretty good job of pretty much what they had to deal with. You know what they had going on. They did a good job of keeping everybody safe and shit like that.
Now, I mean, are you encouraged? Because from what my understanding, there will be testing for MLW tapings if you're going into the building. Are you encouraged that they're taking those steps that athletes will be tested?
I'm very happy, but it's always scary.
Yeah.
Taking those tests. But I'm actually very happy because my tests come back negative, which I've took a couple and it came back negative perfectly fine. But you don't know what the person you're wrestling, if they're going to have anything or not. You know what I mean? So it's good that they're making sure.
Yeah, because I mean, what's scary about this virus is you could have it and not know it, and you can be asymptomatic, and that's what you really have to watch out for.
That's what scares me the most. Like you're just walking around like everything's normal, and you check the test like shit. I got it. I got it. Fuck, I got it. But yeah, exactly.
So, what do you think about what Court Bauer's done in making these new TV deals? And even though, we've had this shutdown, he's been able to stay active in just sort of negotiating new deals, new broadcast platforms for MLW that will hopefully expand the sort of purview of this promotion for when you guys are back on the air.
Man, I feel like honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know how he does it. Like, especially having to just up all day, all night, having to contact these different promotion TV deals or whatever. Like, first of all, let me first say that YouTube is my favorite because I get to curse and do what I like to do on YouTube. But these other ones, gotta be a little more filtered. But other than that, like DAZN, all that stuff, like those are really good deals. Like I'm really excited for it because it just opens everything up for us because these are bigger sports broadcasting, TV deal, whether it's TV deals or not. Like everybody's getting exposure, and MLW's getting that exposure too, and the fan base is growing. We're gonna be on a bigger competitive level.
Before the shutdown, MLW would sometimes like to have guest executive producers like Selena De La Renta. Would it ever interest you to be a guest executive producer for Fusion? Kind of run the show?
Honestly, you probably have to ask me that in a couple months right now. I'm honest. Where I'm at right now is like I'm just now getting in the groove of figuring myself out. And once I figure myself out, I feel like I'll have a better idea of how to help people figure themselves out and create the best angles that they possibly can, or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Best angles matches, or if it's like a agent, like I feel like I could be a high at that. I'll be but
right on.
But producer, I'm a little scared about that one, bro. Like right now, I feel like I'm getting it good for me right now, but give me a couple months. I feel like my mind might change on that one.
Okay, so earlier you said wrestling is all you ever knew. As a fan, was there ever like a persona, another wrestler who really just captured your imagination and inspired you? Not necessarily to model yourself off of, but just someone like, man, this person, this is amazing.
Honestly, like it just throughout like my childhood, like the older I got, it was different wrestlers. Like the more I understood about wrestling, the more that I knew about it, the different, like my favorites would change. When I very first started watching wrestling, like very early, like I was like the person that captured my like attention was The Rock. Like when I first started watching wrestling, but once I was like 7 or 8, I was kind of weird, dude. Like I love Jeff Hardy. Like I was. Mm-hmm. I thought 2002, 2003 Jeff Hardy. Oh my god! Like I wanted to jump off a balcony or something when I was fucking 7 or 8 because of Jeff Hardy. Like Jeff Hardy's awesome. Like that's definitely the number one. Like if like from just actual memory of like really knowing, like actually knowing wrestling and not just watching it. Because when I was younger, The Rock was my favorite when I really didn't know that wrestling, was scripted or whatever. And you know what I mean? Like when I figured that out, and I was just watching as a fan, like I was watching the movie, like I was like, Jeff Hardy is like my favorite.
What do you want to tell, new viewers who might be tuning into MLW for the first time, once the restart gets going, once the new tapings and the new episodes are on the air? What do you want to tell new viewers who might be watching you, the middleweight champion, on MLW for the first time, and what they can expect from Hot Fire and the Young Goat?
What you can expect from me is you can expect to see Jordan with me at all times, because we gang and justice. So you can expect to see the middleweight championship, and whether I'm out there or not, you can expect to see one of the best high flyers in the game, one of the best middleweights in the game. Like every match that I put on is going to be fire from here on out. Like it ain't no question about it. Like it's going to be top notch. I'm trying to have match of the night, match of the show every time. So you just know you're gonna have your money's worth regardless. You see.
So after you get done with Brian Pillman Jr. and that's settled, will you target Dynasty and Alex Hammerstone and go for the Openweight title?
Nah, man, we jumping straight up. We going after Contra. We want that.
Oh wow.
Yes, sir.
I like it, man. I totally dig it. All right, so last thing, if you have any merchandise plugs, social media, any other projects you're working on, or any other shows you're doing that you'd like to share with our listeners, I wanted to give you that time, Myron.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Go check me out on all music streaming platforms. Kid Reed. I got an album, Bangers Forever. It's fire. I just dropped a new single, Animal, with me and Lil Nate. It's dope. Go listen to it. Follow me on Twitter, The Bad Reed. Facebook, Myron Reed, of course. Instagram, Reed's World. Go follow me on all social media platforms. And honestly, that's it, man.
All right, you are a triple threat, man. I'm very excited for you. Congrats that you'll be back in action on MLW. You're going to be defending your title. You're going to be a defending middleweight champion. I cannot wait to see more of you in all these platforms that they have MLW on. So really appreciate the time, Myron, and congratulations. And keep up the great work.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. It's been a blast, bro.
Really appreciate it. You've been listening to the MLW middleweight champion, Hot Fire, the Young Goat, Myron Reed, on the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. Thank you, everybody. All right, so that was the MLW middleweight champion, Myron Reed. So hopefully we're going to see him back in action very soon on MLW TV, and we'll be seeing him mix it up, hopefully with Brian Pillman Jr. All right, so if you are listening to us, thank you very much. You can listen to us on the 411 Mania YouTube channel, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Google Play. If you're listening to us on YouTube, if you can give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, if you can give us a 5-star rating or review for the show, I would also appreciate that as well. But more than anything, thank you for finding the show. Thank you for listening to us, especially right now. I hope everyone is staying safe and managing through this very crazy pandemic, all right, and doing your best and staying safe. But thank you very much. Once again, this is the J to the E to the double F free. I am Jeffrey Harris, and you've been listening to the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. Bye, everybody.